How many genders are there? How many genders are there? What I recommend you do, so you pull out your phone and you look up whatever copyrighted song you want and blast it. And just blast it. Follow them if you want. I don't give a shit. Don't stalk them. But sure, follow them for a little bit, you know? Blast it in the background while they're trying to record their video. Force them away. If you want to force them to go away, it's the best way to do it. The world is crazy these days, what with all the politics and everything. They didn't have politics back in my day. They only invented that in the last few years or so. 2020 with COVID, actually. They invented it with COVID is when politics was invented. So anyway, this thing called politics. And so there's a lot of people on the street who don't know a whole lot about politics, right? If you just walk up to your average Joe and you ask him what his political views are, you're probably going to get a lot of inconsistencies. A lot of inconsistencies. It's just something that you can't really get around. The average person has too much shit going on to think about politics. I don't blame them for it. That doesn't make them stupid. That doesn't make them... It just is what it is. Politically speaking, most people are just inept, okay? They haven't sat down to think about their political prescriptions for more than like 5 minutes at a time. That being the case, our friend Jesse Waters, okay, does this thing where, and this video is not going to be about Jesse. It will be about someone else, but I have to set up for it. So Jesse Waters does this thing, and I don't know if he always does it personally, but he's the Fox News host, if you didn't know. He's basically Tucker Carlson at home. If you ask for Tucker Carlson and your mom says we have Tucker Carlson at home, you get Jesse Waters. So he went out onto the street, and he does this a lot, or at least he has somebody do it for him. Well, they'll go out onto the street and they'll ask random average Joes questions about, like, you know, America, or historical figures' names, or even modern-day politicians' names, which in this case, Waters did with Kamala Harris. So let's just take a small snippet and see what we're working with here. So, and I'll explain in a minute why I'm bringing this up.
Who's this?
That's Vice President Kamala Harris, or Kamala Harris. Your choice?
You have to say Kamala.
Yuck, Kamala Harris.
Our lovely Vice President.
Who's this?
I can't even tell you who is that.
Take a guess.
So yeah, we got to get somebody who's like really woke looking, right? With like the pink and the purple and whatever else, and college kid, college age, whatever, minority group. And we got to make them look really stupid because that's what Fox News loves doing, right? Even though this kid's probably like a fucking bioengineer or some shit and just doesn't do politics. So also this, I can't decide if I like this hat. Honestly, it's drippy, but I think it looks really good on him, and it would not look good on me. I think that's what it is. Anyway, the reason that I'm bringing this up is because this is becoming a very popular form of content for conservatives. Everybody from big names like Jesse Waters on Fox News to small people like this guy, Almost Smart, with 1.27K subscribers. It's fewer than me. Nonetheless, he's actually doing quite well on his videos. I did not get nearly this many views when I only had 1.27K. He's reeling in just about as many as I do, probably on average. You got like 2.2K here, 704. Well, this one's only 33. But you can tell it's like the street interview content, 8.7K on this. Do you watch porn, right? Actually, it might be fun to like take his most popular one, but this one's from 2 years ago. So we'll take the one that he uploaded 2 days ago because it's got 2.2K views. I just want to take a look at the content, right? Let's take a look at what the small bean conservatives are up to.
How many genders do you think there are?
Off to a great start.
I would not like to participate in this interview.
Oh, why? Just your opinions?
Just my opinions, yeah.
Well, that's probably one of the best answers you can give. Or, no, honestly, yeah, I think this is fine. If you just walk away, that's also acceptable. But I think this is also a fine answer. Also, she's cute.
And like, I would not like to speak
love
on
fits like
them.
this.
Come to the middle of Newtown, where it is obviously predominantly focused in LGBT.
Now, here's what you don't do. You don't chase them and continue giving them content. Never, ever, ever.
That's why we're
Like, yeah, so we have Planter over there. Do you guys think that there may be a bit of a bias with who you are interviewing?
That's the point, yeah.
That is the point. That's honest. Whoa, cool. Whoa, he's dabbing on the gays, bro. That's so cool, bro. Cool, bro. Stupid trans.
Okay, so very simple.
Stupid transies.
How many genders do you think there are?
Oh God. Lots, I guess.
Lots, I guess?
Yeah.
How many do you think there are?
You know how many there are? I don't care.
I don't really have an opinion on it, I guess.
Valid answer.
As many as needed.
As many as needed?
Yeah.
So all he's going to do this entire time is ask people that he clocks as like liberal leaning the same question. How many genders do you think there are? Do you know what the answer to this is? I don't care. I don't care. Why? Or better, if you want to keep the conversation going, why should I care? Or why are you asking me this? What's the point?
Me like a direct, like a
Or again, just walk
specific
away.
number.
I honestly couldn't.
I'd say there's a complete spectrum, I guess.
Holy
Complete
shit.
spectrum. Would you
Look at this. That's fancy. I like that. I like that.
You
Not
have
for me,
a-
but I like it on him.
a specific number?
Very drippy.
I can't really say. I mean, it depends because like I think each person has the ability to like really determine
This dude's outfit is everything right now. Holy shit. How can you even put yourself in the same frame as this person and act like you're better than them? That's insane.
where they are along that spectrum.
Yeah.
I guess it depends what you mean by
Jamie,
gender.
I would love that.
You
Drop
know,
him.
I
Drop the
don't really.
links.
By your definition, how many genders would you say there are?
Infinite?
An infinite amount?
Yes.
However many they could be.
Yeah,
There you go.
Yeah.
How
Yeah,
many
why not?
genders would you say there are?
2.
Another thing you can do if you want to sound like a smarty pants, well, of course she's going to say that, is you can say, well, that's kind of a weird question because gender is a, you know, it's a societal construct and it's just basically whatever we make it. You know, today's man, quote unquote man, right, is not the same gender as like a man from like the 1800s. Like all of our mannerisms are different. What we wear is different. How we present ourselves and how we behave in public is different. Not all the way, but you know, it's different enough that I would almost consider them different genders at this point. So by that logic, you know, if we both agree on that, which this person won't, but if you want to sound smart about it, that's how you do it. Now, he's not going to listen to one word of that. He's just going to repeat the question. How many genders are there? And at that point, you can say, listen, I already explained this to you. It doesn't seem like you're here in good faith, and I'm going to go.
True.
I feel like that's so controversial.
I don't think it's controversial.
I just don't want people to hate me. I feel like nowadays it's so easy to hate people. I would not like to.
Okay, so let's go over this person since this is a different specimen, if you will. This is your conservative-leaning normie centrist. Okay, this is an uneducated person who likely votes either liberal or conservative. It could be either, but they're right leaning. They don't know a whole lot about the trans thing. They know it's a touchy topic and they don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. This person is not a bad person. What I will say is that when you confront people like this, like, first of all, don't ever confront them about trans shit, okay? Just don't. If somebody doesn't know what being trans means or doesn't know anything about gender or whatever, just don't bring it up. Just don't. Unless it's important to you and that person is important in your life, obviously. But if they're just some stranger, just don't bring it up. Why? Why would you do that? You know? But if, you know, like this guy, what he's doing is taking advantage of the fact that she is ignorant to all of the gender stuff. And then he's framing this clip in such a way to make us look like the crazy ones. That's all that's happening here.
I would not like to speak on them with someone who I'm not sure exactly. I'm not wanting to get into like a debate thing.
I'm not debating anyone. I'm just asking people their opinions.
Well, yeah. Well, I think that there.
Keep the mic close to your face until you're done talking, buddy. Interviewing 101. I've only done this once before, but I know how it works.
Are as many genders as you think. Like, it's a spectrum. So think of it like a circle rather
There you
than
go.
a line.
Okay.
And do you think you could give me a clear definition of what a man or a woman is?
Whoever identifies as one.
Just your definition.
There's no definition.
Whoa, perfect.
What about trans women competing in professional sport against real women? How would you feel about that?
Again, no emotion. Like
No emotion?
No
True.
emotion. Like, they are women, and I don't have any issue with it. Also, I'm just not a sporty person.
Not a sporty
Like,
person.
I just don't really care.
I think she's doing the best she can. Unfortunately, conservatives are going to look at this and immediately hate her simply because of what she's wearing, even though this is like very baddie coded. You know what I mean? It's such a good outfit. I love this shit.
Do you think they have any inherent biological advantages? Biological women?
The answer to this is not no. Okay, do not let them trap you. The answer to this is yes. And also, who cares? Okay? Because there are biological advantages and disadvantages in every single human being on the planet. And obviously, there are going to be differences between a male body versus a female body in terms of what they can do athletically on an average basis, right? Obviously, that is true. But why are we focusing in on whether or not you have a penis or a vagina? Why not? If that's the case, okay, so what are the things that you think are unequal between men and women when they're competing? And usually you'll get things like testosterone, bone density, musculature, all things that we can measure outside of gender and sex. So if your argument is that men have a biological advantage or whatever, just pick a few parameters and judge people based off of those, okay? Like if you want to have women's sports, like, you know, have those guidelines, that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. But the guidelines should be universal. If you have a cis woman with testosterone that's too high, she shouldn't compete in women's sports the same way that a trans woman couldn't. Okay, I don't like that, but if you're going to be consistent, at least that's consistent.
Not particularly, no.
Particularly?
No.
Okay, so do you think like testosterone or strength or anything like that plays into
she answered
professional
wrong.
sport, or?
No, because it's all about skill, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all I have to say.
Amazing. That was so great. Thank you.
Oh God. Yeah, no, yeah, good idea. Good idea. You have no clue where that hand's been.
Focusing these interviews in predominantly face. You are
That's the
going
point,
into-
yeah. Otherwise, we won't get any opposing point of views. We'll get one point of view. That's the point.
You know what you can do? Blast really loud copyright music. That's how you fuck these up. If you see somebody filming this shit and they come up to you and start like, you know, asking you questions and you do not want to be in their video, just start playing really loud copyright music.
Well, you're only getting 1 point of view.
No, we've gotten two. We get two.
Pick a song,
We're
any
getting,
song.
Like people were saying there's only two genders. People saying that trans women shouldn't compete in sport. We're getting people saying all over those things. And we're just
Well,
interviewing
yeah,
here.
but you are going into Newtown as well. Like,
Yeah, that's
do
the
you-
point. Because we get people that will say, like, the opposing point of view. Otherwise, if we get one point of view, it's a boring video. We need 2 points of view.
well, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Would it be alright if I asked you guys to not post
Thank you,
this
Jamie.
video? Like,
Don't use the content of you. Don't use the video of you. You don't want us to use the video of you.
yeah, would it be alright?
It's fine. Yeah, no problem.
Sorry for the hassle.
But you have to high five me.
I
What? Ew, what? Such a beta move. He's trying to be like funny and quirky and whatever, and he's just, it seems like he's looking for an excuse to touch her. Grody.
You have to high five me.
I don't want to touch
Why not?
you. I don't like touching people.
High five.
That's
Fist
fair.
bump.
I don't like touching people.
Air high
Bruh, shut the f up.
five. Okay. We're using her content.
Ew.
How many
Yo, he owned her, dude. He epically owned her. You look like a freak. Ew.
genders do you think there are?
Oh, that's a tough one. I grew up in the States in a really accepting, it was a Quaker school throughout my whole life.
What's a Quaker school?
Quakers are a religion.
Quaker, member of the Society of Friends Church, a Christian group that stresses the guidance of the Holy Spirit, that rejects outward rites and an ordained ministry, and that has a long tradition of actively working for peace and opposing war. I'm going to take that with a grain of salt, but we'll let him explain.
Kind of similar to the Amish. So
Okay, if it's similar to the Amish, it's a cult.
it's more of just kind of a be your own person. You know, there's that of God in everyone is one of their phrases.
Yeah.
And, you know, I believe that, and I think you can be whoever you want to be. And I'm not really sure that there is a right answer. I don't think there ever will be a right answer, you know, but...
Do you have an answer, like a number, or would you say a finite? Would you say an infinite amount?
No. I mean,
like this
if
guy.
you want, like, if I had to put a number, I'd say 3, just meaning the third being whatever. You know, I don't want to group everyone into one category,
There
but
you
I would
go.
say
Hey,
obviously,
you know what? Full points. I think that's pretty chill.
you know, you've got males, you've got females, and then you've got everybody else who feels like they don't fit in, and you know,
It's oversimplifying it, but I'm not going to nitpick this guy. He seems chill. And also just like he's trying to go about his day.
some people would be upset with me, and they'd say that they shouldn't all be in one category and everyone should have their own, and that's fair enough, and I understand that.
How many genders do you think there
That's
are?
really funny, Jamie.
Oh, no idea.
No idea? Okay.
If I had to pick a number, I'd say let's throw it as a dozen.
Nice. I
Dozen?
love this guy.
Now, how many?
Look at how fun this guy looks. I love him.
I'd say
He looks like such a character. I want to have a drink with this man.
let's throw it as a dozen.
Drippy as hell,
Dozen?
too.
Yeah.
Look at all
Now,
these dripped out
How many
motherfuckers.
genders would you say there are?
Oh. I feel
You
like
cannot come in a basic t-shirt with not even a logo on it and talk to these dripped out motherfuckers and think that you're going to be the one that looks good at the end of it. Sorry.
it's definitely a spectrum.
Yeah.
I agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Just a spectrum.
I think it's a spectrum.
Would you give me a specific number or just not?
How many colors are there?
Personally, I think I couldn't.
How many genders would you say there are?
That's another good response, by the way, that I just realized. Just ask him, just say, I don't know, how many colors are there?
I would say that there's over 3.
Nice.
Yeah. It's over 3. There's at least 3. It's not really like...
Okay. And could you give me
She looks like she has copious amounts of crystals. Just saying.
a definition of what you say a man or a woman is? A clear definition?
A man is somebody who chooses
She
to
likes
identify
incense.
as a man.
Yeah.
And a woman is somebody
True.
who chooses to identify as a woman.
Yes.
Do you think that's a good definition?
Wait, take that, Donald Trump. What?
And a woman is somebody who chooses to identify as a woman.
Okay.
Do you think that's a good definition?
I mean, it doesn't hurt me.
Yeah.
It makes
True.
other people feel comfortable in themselves,
The answer to that, is that a good definition? No, it's not.
so it's really not my business.
The best one we
How
got,
many
though.
genders would you say there are?
And another thing you can say is, can you give me a better one?
How many you like?
How many would you say there are?
I don't really believe in a set number. It's
Nice.
a type of expression.
Do you think you could give me your definition of what a man or a woman is?
I don't think so.
You don't think so? Could you give me your definition? Could you try it?
For myself? Yeah. No?
That's all right.
I think I'm very chill. I don't really care about that.
Do you think you could give me
He looks awful. He keeps getting these people who say they don't care, and he just looks bad.
a definition for what a man or a woman is?
Oh,
I mean, it's basically
man is someone who wants to be a man,
Yep.
and a woman is someone who wants to be a woman.
Based.
A man is someone who identifies as a man, and a woman is somebody who identifies as a woman.
Nice.
Okay.
That's a tricky one. Okay. Well, I think like with a lot of
Come on,
things
King, you
now
can do
in
it.
modern society, it depends on one's personal choice.
Let's go.
So, for example, I could identify myself as a man, but my definition of a man may not be the same as someone else.
Let's
Like, for
go.
instance,
Let's go.
The way I dress, most people would say I'm not a man, and yet
True.
I'm very much a man in
Oh, this man knows his shit. This is awesome. I love him.
my identity.
And do you think you could give me a clear definition of what a man or a woman is?
No.
No, you couldn't?
Nice.
Give me your definition.
Say no. Just stick with it.
No.
Ah, yes! Queen!
I could give it altogether. It's based on their reproductive system.
Yeah, so it's biological, you
Here
would
we go.
say.
So again, this is the normie we talked about earlier, right? Right-leaning could be saved, but people like this get to her first, and then it's over.
It is biological, and no matter what you decide to do in the future, you are still what you were born with.
That biological sex, yeah.
I agree.
Interesting. Okay. So, would you
What
consider
about
trans
infertile
women real?
Don't ask difficult questions. Listen, if you do anything beyond a third grade level with a conservative like this, their brains will just explode. It's very messy to clean up.
Women?
I'd consider them trans women.
Okay. Very interesting.
I don't think I
Turf.
could.
You don't think you could? Could you give me?
She okay? So let me clarify. She's a turf, but I don't think she's like an active turf. I think that that's just one of those latent beliefs that she has that like she doesn't really talk about that much. I could be wrong, but like from what I heard, it doesn't sound like she's like a proper active turf. Okay, so I don't hate her, but I do wish that like somebody, you know, if trans people come into her life, I do hope that somebody like levels her out.
I don't think I could.
You don't think you could? Could you give me your definition?
I mean, if I'm going my stereotypical,
I don't think she's a turf just because she's transphobic. That's true. I ascribe the label of turf to women automatically, and I need to stop doing that. Good point.
right, male genitalia, female genitalia.
Amazing.
That's all I could really give you.
Yeah.
So, do you think
Okay.
gender and
Again, this is just a normie. Let me see that one more time.
Right, male genitalia, female
Stereotypical.
genitalia.
Okay.
amazing?
That's all I could really give you.
Yeah, see, this is another guy. He just doesn't care that much, and that's fine. I really, honestly, in a vacuum, I probably wouldn't give a shit about trans things either, except for the fact that I date Katie for one, and she's non-binary, and for two, you know, I have trans people in my life, and also trans people are, you know, their rights are constantly at risk, you know, and even not existing right now, you know, they can't get medical care like the rest of us.
Yeah.
So, do you think gender and biology have
For
anything to do with
example.
each other?
No. Gender is
Yes, they do. So they do because based upon somebody's biology, we will ascribe them a gender. That's their assigned gender. So they do have things to do with each other, but they're only arbitrarily connected. I could also make up a system in which your gender is based on your final height. So let's say that if you're a child, let's say that until you're 18, you are child gender. Child gender, okay? No girls, no boys, you're just child gender, okay? Now, once you hit that magical age of 18, or your growth spurt stops or whatever, then we'll measure your height. And based upon your height, I'm going to now ascribe to you certain expectations in society, certain clothes that I think that you would wear, things like that, right? I could do that. I could set up society like that and have a height-based gender, okay? I think that'd be really stupid, but I could. So when you ask whether gender and sex have anything to do with each other, yes, they do, but only arbitrarily and only because we said so. Yeah, only the talls can be nurses. Tall gender. Yeah.
a made-up construct.
Okay.
I think.
And then it would be like a big thing if you're short and you want to be a nurse, then, you know, they will not accept you or you'll get laughed at or whatever else. Kind of like how I'm a male nurse, right? It's normalized these days, but sometimes I still get the weirdo who's like, you call yourself a man and you're a nurse. That's a woman's job. Like, it happens. Not very often, but it does.
There's difference between like gender and like the biological sex that you were born with.
Yep.
And I think they don't have anything to do with each other.
Okay. And let's say hypothetically tomorrow I felt like a woman. Could I walk into women's bathrooms and use them?
Yes. My response to this would, and my follow would be, who's going to stop you?
If that's how you're identifying and you're comfortable with that.
Would you be comfortable with that?
That's also really not a realistic, you know, situation to be putting us on.
Also an excellent response. Tell me how many people you see who look like this guy who regularly walk into the women's bathroom to use it, first of all. Second of all, even if somebody were to do that, my first thought is going to be, well, clearly that person is in there to sexually assault somebody, right? No, it's probably just that the men's bathroom is locked, or he's got his baby with him and needs to change him, and there's no changing station in the men's bathroom because, again, expectations of gender, right? Or it doesn't matter. Maybe the ladies' bathroom smells better. I don't care. He has as much right to use it as the women do.
Wake up and choose to go.
It's not a hypothetical situation. That kind of
Trans women do.
That's not. They don't wake up and
It's
decide.
a process.
Another great thing that you can do with a conservative like this is, are you saying that women should have more rights than men? Are you saying that women should have access to spaces that men cannot have? That sounds kind of radical feminist to me, my man. Now, if you're debating a radical feminist, they'll say yes, and unapologetically. It won't really be a point against them. But for somebody like this, some douchebag like this, that's a major hit against them. If you make people think that he just hates men, holy shit, like that, you cannot have that if you're his archetype. You can't.
Yeah. They don't wake up and decide you're born feeling that way. It's a process. You're not just waking up tomorrow and...
You do realize one day, don't you?
I'm just really confused what this interview is actually about, though, guys, because you've come to Newtown, out of all places, to ask these kind of questions. So I'm really confused what you're trying to get at. If you'd like
your opinions. Trying to get your opinions.
To which you can say, my opinion is that people should be allowed to live however they want.
It's for YouTube.
For YouTube.
Play music.
Oh my God,
Copyrighted
you guys
music.
I feel like you
do
should
it.
do. Yeah. All right. See, I think we're done here, though.
Well, you don't want to give your opinions. But I have more questions.
That's okay. I hope you find someone else to reply, but I think you're going.
Maybe ask that man there. He'd like someone to talk to.
Okay. Did I do anything wrong? Was I mean? I just asked for their opinions and they got angry at me.
Yeah, they wanted to stop talking to you, dick. I should reach out to him and ask if he wants to talk to me.
Damn. How do you feel about trans women competing in professional sports with other women?
I think this is really interesting. Because,
it's really interesting?
Yeah, because in the past, there are some sports...
It's funny, though, because every time that I say I'm going to reach out to them, either I can't, because they have no contact info anywhere, which is pussy shit, or they don't respond, which is pussy shit, or they decline, which is pussy shit. If you're going to go out and do this on the street, and you're not prepared for old Alec Gunter to get up into your DMs and challenge you on your beliefs, then get the fuck off the streets. You don't deserve to be there.
It's like archery, which is very skill-based, right? Not to do with, like, strength or whatever. It's all skill, pretty much. That used to be men and women together until a woman won, I think, the gold.
I think it's just that you're another content creator. I want to debate other content creators. I love debating other content creators. If you... Here, I'll put out a message right now. If you are a conservative content creator of any size, doesn't matter, small, big, medium, whatever, and you consider yourself either a conservative or against transgenderism or what have you, then come on and debate me. My contact info is right there in my profile. You can email me at theallocator@gmail.com, and you can also get me in my Discord, which is linked in the description of every single video. Just click on the Discord link, send me a DM in Discord, and we'll set something up, and I would be more than happy to talk about whatever you want, just like I did earlier today with that freak. If you know, you know.
And then they changed it to split genders.
Oh, cool.
What is this? Rana Hamad. Hi there, collegiate level. So a summary of why men and women have different categories. Okay, this should be interesting. Hi there. Excuse me. Collegiate level female archer here. I wonder, real quick before we read this, the sport that pioneered equality for women's participation, archery. Archery has long been celebrated for gender equality in competition. Wow, interesting. Particularly in the modern era, women have taken an equal role in competition and increasingly in governance as well. The sport was among the first to include a women's event at the Olympics in 1904, and World Archery was the first international federation to have a female president. It is not a modern phenomenon either. Blah, blah, blah. It was not one solely of masculinity. The myths of Artemis and Diana in classical Greek. Okay, yeah, I get all that. Let's see. First British sporting society to admit women were said to have added to their conquests the hearts of young gentlemen of honor and fortune. So women would do the archery and men would be the ones who like reach out to them for their amazing skills. Well, not all the time, but in some areas. Obviously, by modern standards, this is not even equality or acceptable, but in a contemporary light, it explains the growth of the sport. Archery was an area for ostentatious display and tournaments became common among both the elite and the aspirational urban imitators, with large prizes and crowds of spectators. I'm looking for when they divided the genders. In any case, I think that they should be combined, and there's a history of it. All right, back to this. Collegiate level female archer here, hoping to shed some light on this good question. Men and women compete separately in individual archery competition because men's scores are typically higher. For example, the new world records are 700 and 673, male and female respectively. There's a lot of reasons for that. Listen, there's a lot of reasons for that. And one of them is that men's sports are simply better funded and better coached than women's sports. This is in large part due to the men having higher arrow speeds. Higher speeds leads to higher scores because higher arrow speed equals less wind interference plus more... No. All of this is arbitrary. Just because one person has a higher speed than another person, or even like one group of people, right? Like take this for example. Look at how many black people there are in basketball, right? There's a higher amount of black athletes in basketball than there are black people in America, right? Like the percentage is kind of wibbly wobbly. So my point is, are black people more inclined to play basketball? Or are they like just better at it naturally? All right, are we doing a little eugenics talk here? Eugenics talk? Is that what we're doing? Because you could make the same argument on the same basis, and you know what they'll say? They'll call you a racist because you dared to challenge them on that. I've had this conversation many times before, and they'll do it every single time.
So I think, especially in like plenty of the sports, it shouldn't matter at all.
They limit the draw weight, that would limit arrow speed. Wait. Yeah, women have a lighter arrow, so it wouldn't have as much momentum. This is stupid. This is so stupid. And also, who the f is this? Why do I care what she has to say? Rana Hamad. Oh, Quora. Oh, he pulled this off of Quora? What? Are you kidding me? I thought he got an email from this chick. You've got to be shitting me. This is his source from Quora. Rana Hamad, 0 followers, 0 following. 4 answers. How do I become rich? Could a new study sow seeds of change for barley? 2 questions. This is his professional. This is his source. Is Rana Hamad. I don't even know why I bothered fact checking. Doesn't matter. They'll always bullshit
So
you.
I think, especially in like plenty of the sports, it shouldn't matter at all.
In plenty or a select few?
I'm okay with...
Yeah, that's another great question. What is the desired outcome? If trans women aren't winning disproportionately, then what's the issue? They're going to go with a slippery slope fallacy. But then you can just say, well, there's no proof of that. There's no evidence for that. Like, we have, standards in place for men and women, and trans women follow them.
We should just have
I gotta try to get through this 'cause I gotta pee again.
Gendered
Olympics, yeah, just go for it.
Yeah, there you go.
Whoever's
Yeah,
the best is the
based.
best.
I agree.
That's what I want to
I
see.
agree.
Who's the best? Who's the best athlete?
Yeah.
Do you think that would be taking opportunities away from women?
No.
No gender sport?
Only if you think that they're inferior to men.
In some ways, in terms of like the Olympics and stuff like that, no, because then the best person will just shine.
Also, just let him juice. Let him juice.
Okay.
But in terms,
Ending like in Olympic weightlifting, the males are lifting heavier weights than the females.
I don't know.
Like Olympic boxing, the males are hitting
You
harder
can still
than
be the best
females.
woman,
Boxing's
exactly.
a weight class as well.
Weight classes, yeah.
Yeah. Look, I don't know.
There's like bone density and testosterone involved.
All things which are measurable. If you want to go by those measurements, then go by those measurements, dumbass. Why base it on whether or not you have a dick?
I don't know. I personally want to see the best person win.
Yeah, no problem with a male punching a female?
No,
If
not
they're
at
okay
all.
with it?
No, exactly. If they're okay with it. It's about consent. It's about agreeing to a fight. If a man wants to fight a woman and he says, I don't hit women, that's disrespectful as f, dude. Oh, what? You think that women are so inferior that like, I literally have a brother who thinks, and I don't know if he still thinks this. I won't say which one it is. But my brother literally thinks that he could get into the ring with like a female MMA athlete and just like win against them. He's not saying he would do it easily, but he's saying he could win against them. And I'm like, you're so stupid. Even my dad was like, son, there is no way in hell. I have seen those ladies fight and there is no shot. There's no shot. My dad was like, son, you will get your shit pushed in. I think the fuck not. And my dad is a stark raving conservative, okay? Not stark raving, but he's leveled out in the past couple of years, but he's conservative. Trust me.
Yeah. Do you think it's fair for transgender women to compete in professional sport?
It's fine.
Ah, okay. Now that is an interesting thing because then you'd have to look at the evidence that scientists have.
See, this is what they catch people on every single time is athletics. My question is, why do you give a single solitary what athletes are doing when you've never cared before. You've never cared. Never. You've never thought about women's sports or what you can do to help women's sports, or looked at the size of their locker rooms compared to men's, or the quality of the coaching staff, or the number of the coaches compared to men's, or the facilities, or anything. You do not care about women's sports. Do not feed me that bullshit. I'm not buying it. Not buying it. This is just about transphobia.
Provided. So I believe that yes, in a way, people should be allowed to participate in the events or sports that they want. However, we have to accept the fact that there are some genetic factors as well. Yes, we could talk about on average based on the science.
See, this is where he's losing me. King, I love you and I love your drip, but this is you're waffling a bit, my blood.
Is that on average a woman will have
That's waffling a bit.
Will tend to have less strength than a man on average. But that doesn't mean that a single person or a single woman is weaker than any
That's
other
a fair
man.
point.
Because
That's a fair
again,
point.
that's the average. I'll accept the decision, like say in some sporting committees, that they will not allow certain transgender to compete. But I think that as time goes by, who knows? We could even have events. Why can't women compete with men?
Great question.
Because if a woman can train better than a man, a woman could easily beat a man. So then maybe, who knows, in the future we'll have sporting events that will have men competing with women, competing with transgenders.
I thought that was pretty good. I don't know why I cut it there.
I think that's complicated, but I think that it's really, I think more...
I want to ask this guy, name five female athletes. Name 5. Because I can tell you how many I can name. Zero.
more important about than sports competitions is people feeling affirmed in who they are. So I think that we could rethink how we do sport and do graded according to skill, not just gender.
Agreed.
We can get creative about how we do it
Great
and
answer.
make people feel good about themselves.
Do you think men are biologically stronger and faster than women?
No.
So
the question, if you're being charitable, is an average male with no training stronger than an average female with no training? That's the question. And yes, there are going to be some biological advantages and disadvantages, by the way, that men have. We are not altogether superior to women in all categories. Cis women in all categories. Cis men are not biologically superior to women in all categories. It's simply not the case. And the lines are blurred because of how much we've shit on women's sports all this time.
I guess on average, people assigned male at birth are, but yeah, I don't agree with it.
You don't agree with it?
Because I've
I don't care,
seen
lady.
firsthand how
Shut
it
up.
has impacted
Shut up.
my female friends, and
Oh, have you?
I've seen how much it
Oh
has.
man, I wonder if they tied 5th place with a transgender woman. I wonder if that happened, because that would be devastating if that happened. I could never imagine. So, oh wait, that did happen, and then that chick made a career off of transphobia. That's cool.
Has basically given them PTSD because
Yeah,
they
Riley
just feel like they won't
Gaines.
ever succeed in something they've worked years for because they're winning against people that unfortunately have,
I don't care. This is infantilizing. Shut the up. There are women who could kick the shit out of me. And then some. They could drill me into the ground and I would like it. But that's besides the point. The main point is that they could do it. Okay? So this is infantilizing bullshit. And every woman who hears this should be pissed off. Like, what the what? You think you can't take a man in a fair fight when you train? That's pussy shit. How dare you undersell yourself like that, queens? No, I believe in you. I believe in you. Equal rights, equal fights. Conservatives love that line. What happened? What happened? Equal rights, equal fights. Let UFC be mixed gender. What's wrong with that? I see no problem.
It's taking opportunities away from people that are born as women.
Do you agree? Yeah.
That's not one that I think I can answer fully.
I don't care.
Because it's one that...
What's your opinion on it?
Oh, it's tough.
There's no wrong answer.
Yeah, I know.
There's no wrong answer.
There isn't. No, I know. But...
I mean, there is, but...
You know what I would say? Opportunities like what? Opportunities like what? And the answer is going to be either scholarships, to which you can say, well, don't you find it odd that we base we base whether or not somebody goes to college on how far they can throw a ball or how fast they can swim? Isn't that kind of weird to you? Like, maybe they should just be able to go. So if we're talking about people just going to college, I agree with you that we should send people to college for free of charge, regardless of their athletic ability. So we agree on that, and they don't agree on that, but you can troll them a little bit, right? Wink, wink. So we agree on that, buddy. And then they'll try to fight you on that. And you can say, no. I'm saying I agree with you, right? I agree with you on that. The other thing that they're going to say is you're denying them the right to win. Nobody has a right to win. It's a sports competition. It's about skill. If you do not win, you did not train hard enough or you are not gifted enough. There's an inherent biological advantage and disadvantage in every single human being on the planet. There are handicapped people who are born naturally biologically disabled, and they are not going to be able, like there's no person in a wheelchair on earth who is ever going to be able to beat Usain Bolt in a leg race. You know why? Because they can't run. That's just the world we live in. That is our reality. So if you, as a, I don't know, like let's say that you have Parkinson's, you know, you walk funny, right? Sorry, that's crude, but you walk different. You know, you need walkers or whatever. If you want to compete in a fair race against Usain Bolt, I think that you have every right to do so. Now, Usain Bolt has to agree. I don't think he will, but good luck reaching him. But for all intents and purposes, if you two both agree to a fair foot race, you're going to get the shit kicked out of you, first of all. But second of all, I think you should be allowed because it's equal rights, equal fights. Okay? If both parties agree to it, I think it's fine. Unless there's like a severe risk of somebody like, you know, dying, which exists in sports anyway. So I might even remove that stipulation.
You know, you read the headlines and sometimes you just think, oh, is it fair?
The fruitiest man
Because
alive.
sometimes,
Do you think it's fair?
sometimes I don't think it can
I don't
be.
care. It's
Sometimes
never fair.
tough, because, you
What's fair about Michael Phelps competing against other swimmers? What's fair about that? That man has a wingspan like a goddamn manta ray. That man is a fish man. Okay, he is a fish man. He should not be allowed to compete against other men because he's a fish man.
you know, as much as we don't want to admit it, you know, there's a lot of...
There's inherent biological advantages.
Exactly. There's physical characteristics.
Like Michael Phelps
that
has over
just,
every
in a
other
lot of
person on
ways,
Earth.
I won't say all men, but most men would be better in physical outings than most women. And that's
If they
generally the
agree to a
case.
fight,
Let's
I
say
don't care.
tomorrow I felt like a woman. Could I walk into a female bathroom?
Yes.
If you identified as a woman, I think that you should be able to do that. Yes.
Yeah, if it's a rather
serious-
pertinent and serious decision,
Yeah.
not just you
Taking
change
the
your mind
piss.
every single day, then yes.
No, I would even give them that. If you want to walk into the men's bathroom one day and the women's the next, I don't give a shit. It's public property.
How many times do you think someone can change their gender?
I think infinitely. Like,
You can change your gender?
yeah, like
Yeah, why
I
not?
think creating a safe space that allows people to want to transition and then they feel comfortable enough to detransition is really important.
Yeah.
But I think if you're like, again, taking the piss or just like doing it to be funny, that's just insensitive. But
It's
if
all
you're
about respect.
yeah, but if you're truly like feeling that way, then I support it.
If you're taking the piss, you're going to give up the game. Remember the shooter at Club 9 or whatever it was? I forget what it was called. It was like Club something, the gay bar. And there was a shooter who later identified as non-binary. And so they started going by they, them pronouns. Turns out that was bullshit. Of course it was. He was there to kill trans people. So he was lying, and it was a bad faith lie. But at the same time, it doesn't matter. You can have an insane non-binary person who also happens to be transphobic and hate trans people. It doesn't matter. I don't care why you identify the way you do. If you say that you're a woman, I'm going to call you a woman. If you say that you're a man, I'm going to call you a man. And if you say that you're non-binary, I'm going to call you a cute little NB bean. Unless you don't want to be cute. Then that'd be weird. I felt like watching this type of content, I need you guys to understand. Club Q, thank you. This type of content appeals to like demographics of all types. Okay, old people love this. Young people love this. People of like, you know, people just like this. Normies like this a lot. This type of content is dangerous for us. I need you guys to understand that. Okay, so I guess my point in showing you guys this is just to, first of all, it's good content. And second, I don't know, if you ever find yourself out in a situation like this in the street and some dude walks up to you with a microphone and a camera and he says, hey, we're recording a YouTube video, bro. How many genders are there? How many genders are there? What I recommend you do is you pull out your phone. You say, here, give me just a second. I need to look something up. Is that okay? So you pull out your phone and you look up whatever copyrighted song you want and blast it. And just blast it. Follow them if you want. I don't give a shit. Don't stalk them. But sure, follow them for a little bit, you know? Blast it in the background while they're trying to record their video. Force them away. If you want to force them to go away, it's the best way to do it. You cannot beat that, all right? The other option, of course, is you can try to get an own on them, but even that's giving them content because usually they'll just... You're not in charge of the editing process. That's the bottom line. You're not in charge of the editing. So they will edit you out and it doesn't matter. If they look bad enough in it, unless you're Poopy Pants, whatever her name is, Bennett, unless you're her, they will usually edit you out if you make them look bad. So it's just a pointless, fruitless endeavor. Just either play copyright music or walk away. Hey, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please be sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you want to see more, hit the notification bell to be notified when I upload. If you enjoy my content, you enjoy what I do, I really appreciate any financial help that I can get. Go to youtube.com/AlecGunterTTV/join. You got some awesome benefits, such as seeing early videos, awesome emotes that you can use in the comments of YouTube videos, and a sweet badge next to your name. So if that sounds interesting to you, I'd really appreciate if you join. It is cheaper than the cost of a blowjob from your mom. So with all that being said, thank you again for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.